Thanks for checking out Mornings with Lone Star podcast on irlonestar.com. Don't forget, Mornings with Lone Star is live every weekday on irlonestar.com from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., covering all things Texas country music and Montgomery County news, with weather and traffic at the top and bottom of every hour. You can call in at any time with a song request at 936-647-3776 or Facebook message us on Facebook or tweet us on Twitter. Mornings with Lone Star would like to say a special thank you to the sponsors of Mornings with Lone Star: the Corner Pub and Deli in downtown Conroe, Michael B. Young, financial representative with Northwestern Mutual in the Woodlands, and the Texas Renaissance Festival in Magnolia, Texas. While I was away, 9:05, you're listening to Mornings with Lone Star, Montgomery County's morning radio show, playing music and talk of all the sorts of stuff. We got Rusty Fincher in the studio. Rusty, how are you doing?
Doing wonderful. How about you?
I am doing pretty dang good. I'm waiting for the rain. It's funny being here in the studios in downtown Conroe when it's going to rain. I'm like just constantly looking out the window. Is it here yet?
You have a big window you can see out.
Yes, it's great. So actually, folks, if you're around the area, you feel free to stop by the studio. We're right next to Conroe Coffee, one of our morning show sponsors. You're always welcome to come in. Rusty Fincher is running for Constable Precinct number 1. Let's get the good stuff out of the way, and then we'll get to the even better stuff about voting. RustyFincher.com. You're going to be coming up on the ballot for the March elections, correct?
March 1st, 2016.
2016
yes.
Primary election right there. It's March 1st. You need to register to vote, folks. It's really easy to do it. And then you also have a fundraiser coming up, which we do have tickets to be given away here on Lone Star Net Radio. So keep an eye out on Facebook and like us, and we'll be posting how we're going to give those away. And that's coming up on let me read this correctly,
November
the 12th.
Tomorrow.
So it's tomorrow, and then you have a fish fry, which is delicious. But folks, if you want to know more about Rusty, just go online, rustyfincher.com. That's RustyFincher.com. We'll be posting more information about that. If you have any questions and you can't call in, we're on Facebook and Twitter right now, Lone Star Net Radio at IRLoneStar. Is there anything else you want to plug real quick so we can get to why you want to be here? We're good. There we go. We have a fundraiser tomorrow for him. He does. This is going to be located at the North Montgomery County Community Center at the new one, right?
Right.
And that's a good location right there. Foods by Clint's Country Catfish Catering. So I've never had Clint's. Is it pretty good?
Very good. Very, very good.
And where are they located?
They're located over on Highway 105, but he does the catering, so he goes all over.
Okay, yeah, so there you go. And that's tomorrow, folks. More information can be found. You are on Facebook, too, so just let folks know that. Rusty Fincher for Constable Precinct number 1. One of your concerns that you mentioned wanting to come in is talking about voters, I guess just voting in general. But voters' turnout was very poor for this month's voting. But then again, there really wasn't any elections. There's a couple board members for schools and things like that up. But usually it was just bonds and propositions.
Yeah, and it's always amazed me, Dick, that so few people vote to make their voice heard. This being Veterans Day, many men and women have fought and died for our country to keep us free, so that we can have this one more freedom to vote. And it's sad that not more people come out. And it's very, very easy to register. These forms can be obtained either from the election people at 9159 FM 1484 in Conroe. That's the Montgomery County Elections Office. And you can also get these forms at most libraries and post offices. Mm-hmm. So I've got a stack of them. I've been handing them out for people that I find they're not registered to vote yet. And there's only 6 or 7 questions that you have to answer on this form and send it in, and it's very, very easy. If anybody's not registered to vote, they need to go ahead and think about doing it right now so they're not in the squeeze, and go ahead and get that sent in, and they'll be able to vote in the March 1st primary.
There you go. And what's important, too, for the Montgomery County area, there's mctx.org/election, which is, from what I understand, the official website it has all the voter, like where you can go vote, how to register to vote, who's on the ballot. They give you a sample ballot. The only thing that my complaint is it's very old school looking, but then again, I don't think anyone really touches it until voting time comes around.
Yeah, and that site, even on election day, you can go on there and you can kind of watch the returns come in. They do a real good job there of getting the word out of when they need to get registered and helping the precinct judges get ready for these votes. It's a very, very stressful and taxing time for them when they do one of these votes, because there is a lot that goes into it. And if you've never been down there on a voting night, it's a steady line of cars, people turning stuff in, counting the votes. It's amazing to watch.
It is a neat process, especially in this country, because not since we pioneered the diplomatic way of doing all this, but it is something as a community, small as as big and small as we can be, is to get involved. Like I was saying earlier off the air, I really loved the Cleveland ISD bond proposition vote for. Only 2 people came out and voted for it. 2 people.
Amazing.
And so just to give you some numbers, folks, for this November 3rd the election, there was total of registered voters is 286,310 people, and only 46,435 came out and voted. That's 16.22% of people came out and voted. The thing I want to talk about, we have a couple minutes, then we'll take a quick break and come back to it and let the audience kind of think about it, or the listeners, is what do you think is a good solution to get people off their butts to go vote?
That is a very, very good question that people have been asking for a long time. I'm sure that I know the Republican and I'm sure the Democratic Party both have that's an age-old question they've been trying to answer and do something about. And I think the best thing is if people need to get out and vote, and they need to vote for a candidate that they've done some research on, that is a qualified and good candidate. A lot of people are busy in their everyday lives, and they just don't. I don't know if they don't take the time or they don't care. In my family, when I was growing up, it was very, very. My parents stressed, vote, make your voice heard, and so I've done the same with my children. So I think maybe it's an education through the family. So if we could get this generation started educating for the next generation, then I think it would be good.
Well, I also think there is a lot of awareness trying to be spread. There's the internet today, and there's also information. One thing that I always wondered is, since you're running for Constable Precinct number 1, this is coming in with an solution, is when you wanted to run, what paperwork, what hoops, in a sense, did you have to go through to get on the ballot?
Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to file a campaign treasurer's report.
Okay.
Even before that,
that's the first thing you do.
That's the first thing you do. But even before that, you have to be in touch and in tune with the community and make sure that the support is there. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and wasting money.
So it costs money besides the fundraising and also the advertising to actually, submit your role on the ballot. That costs money?
Well, the first thing, the campaign treasury report, does not cost anything. However, when you get right down to the wire, which the sign-up date starts this Saturday, November 14th, and of course the elections office will be closed, so it'll begin Monday morning at 8. And it'll run through. It'll run 1 month. I think December the 14th or something. And that costs money to sign up to get your name actually on the ballot, because these things have to be printed.
Oh, it's paperwork, and
it's a lot of money.
So the reason I'm asking is I'm trying to figure out the process of those who do want to be on a ballot, mm-hmm. and how you get your name on that list, because that's how a lot of people find out who to vote for, is they find the ballot.
And that's kind of expensive to get put on the ballot, and then once you sign up, you draw names to see who has position on the ballot, and then you're.
Oh, you mean like first, second, third, literally? Because
right.
some people think the first person's always going to get picked. Oh,
right.
Wow, because there is a strategy to it. So that's just luck. That's dumb luck. How you
draw.
Okay, so yes, one thing that I always wondered is, as a voter and being a young person and growing. When you're 18, I was fortunate enough to vote for the president at that time, right when I turned 18. And what's amazing to me is in school systems and things, like no one really told you anything about how to do anything, how to get involved, how to register to vote. The only reason I registered to vote was because I had to take care of my driver's license.
Right.
And the person asked, "Do you want to register to vote while here?" And since I was turning, my birthday fell on a weird month that I was eligible to vote for the November election because I turned 18 before it. it was crazy to me because I was like, I never even thought about it. And so, yeah, I want to register. Heck yeah. And that's how I did it through the DMV because it's really easy to do it through them too. But after that, finding information about these positions, it was always hearsay because you always had to find their website.
Right.
And that's how you learn about them. And one thing that I think that would be interesting is having something like mctx.org, have those things kind of spelled out, who's going to be on, who's eligible. Because they just have a printed list on the sample ballot. That's how you find out what's actually going on. But other than that, it's up to you to find it. And people always have a hard time. So one of my thinking and my solutions with the money is why not mail those ballots, the sample ballots, to registered voters. That way they don't have to find it online. They get mailed the sample ballot or something that has, here's who you're going to be voting for when you come up to this election time. Do you think that sounds like something that's reasonable? I know it costs money to mail things, but...
I don't know how much they have in their budget for mailing stuff like that, but the stuff that I'll mail out will have that on there. It'll be in the newspaper at least once. I'll carry sample ballots with me and hand them to people. I don't know much more than what we could do.
Well, I know it's hard because it's one of those things when you have 16% of people checking in for voting. That's kind of amazing to me because there's eligible voters and there's over 100,000 of them, and not even 50,000 people are showing up.
Well, and the old adage, if you don't vote, don't fuss.
Yes.
But you brought up the point a while ago that there are only 2 people voted in that election, and people always think that, I'm not going to go do it. My vote doesn't matter. It would have in that election.
Yeah.
There's only 2 people voting, so it's very, very, very important.
And, when we come back, I wouldn't mind going over what exactly goes into the different months of the elections, because there's different months for different elections. And November is pretty much the bigger one when someone's actually being voted for presidency. That's always a huge deal, and I imagine the numbers will jump up. But we're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a quick music break here on Mornings with Lone Star, 9:16. We're hanging out with Rusty Fincher. He's running for Constable Precinct number 1. Check him out online right now, rustyfincher.com. You vote for him on March 2016 and March 1st. Thank you. And we're going to take a quick break. Here is some Randy Rogers Band and Wade Bowen. Here's some Ladybug for you. You're listening to Lone Star in the Mornings. We'll be back with Rusty Fincher.
Behind every victory is someone who helped make it happen. Call them mentors, coaches, or even mom or dad. At Northwestern Mutual, we call them partners, the financial professionals that can help you tap into strengths you might not even know you have, and guide you where you want to be financially and personally, because no one wins alone. Start building financial security with Northwestern Mutual. Contact Michael Young today. Visit michael.b.young@nm.com. You and Northwestern Mutual, stronger together. The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Imagine a place where you can sip on Italian coffee and have a sandwich, followed by a fabulous, delectable pastry. We invite you to stop by Conroe Coffee to experience old world charm. Conroe Coffee is located next to the historic Creighton Theater in downtown Conroe. We are open 7 days a week. Please check our website for business hours at conroecoffee.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a caffeinated day.
Hi, this is Catering Cody with All-Star Catering Company. We've been catering for Montgomery County since 2005. We are now offering take-home casseroles available for you to pick up Monday through Friday. To learn more, give us a call at 936-228-0440. Send an email to info@cateringbyallstar.com or check us out on Facebook at Catering by All-Star. So come on in and get your dinner tonight and feed your family the simple way with All-Star Catering.
Lords and ladies of the realm, the king and queen invite you. Jog a deep and merry way to the Renaissance Festival. Journey to a magic time of romance and adventure. A day of feasting, merriment, and fun for one and all.
The Texas Renaissance Festival. Saturdays, Sundays, and Thanksgiving Friday. October 10th through November 29th. Kids 12 and under are free every Sunday. Tickets available at participating Walgreens and TexRenFest.com. Huzzah!
There's some Ladybug, Randy Rogers and Wade Bowen. You're listening to Mornings Lone Star, still hanging out with Rusty Fincher. He's running for Constable Precinct number 1. We're talking about voting, and last time we were talking about what are solutions can we get more people to go out and vote. And what's amazing is the rotation every year where times are to go vote, and then everything's always different because like the voting for president's every 4 years, and that of course brings out more people because people know about voting for president. I mean, I know yesterday was the GOP, whatever it was, and from Wall Street Journal hosted that. That was pretty interesting. But people know are getting the idea. And I'm like, isn't it a little early to be talking about this? But they're doing the primaries right now. But if you didn't know November 3rd, you could have voted. Most people didn't know because only 16% of Montgomery County showed up, registered voters. And Rusty Fincher's running for Constable Precinct number 1 in March 1st for another voting period. And do you know, this is just me asking, if you don't know it, just say don't know it because I don't expect you to know everything that's on the ballot. But voting for March, what kind of things are going to be on the ballot besides Constable Precinct number 1?
I'm not sure of all the things that'll be on there, but this primary that I'm in, the constable's office runs with the presidency. So every time the president runs, the constable's office runs. Several county government officers run then. There's this primary will decide which Republican candidate and which Democratic candidate that people will be able to vote for in November. Montgomery County being a Republican stronghold, if there's any Democratic challengers here, I don't know about them. So usually in Montgomery County, once March is over with, it's pretty much over.
Yeah, because I would say that any type of forum or debate in Montgomery County is really boring because everyone has the same values or same position on anything. And I'm like, just 5 Republicans saying the same thing. So it's really interesting how people try to run for something and how they have to create an individual look on each one. Like, how do I stick out from this guy? So you are running for Constable Precinct number 1.
That's correct.
And just describe to people what that exactly is. So what is a Constable Precinct number 1? What is that?
Our office does a variety of things. We operate inside our precinct, which is pretty much everything north of State Highway 105 and North Loop 336. The only thing we really go outside of that on a daily basis is mental health. We have a mental health warrant division that we go out and help people that are having problems mental health wise. We have a lake patrol. We patrol Lake Conroe every day of the week. We have a dive team that are standing by in case we need them. All the guys on the boats dive. We have a school division for the Willis Independent School District. We have civil deputies that serve papers and run warrants and do a little bit of traffic that we can when time permits. We do a variety of things. Two of the things that we're real proud of that we've made great strides in, fairly lately, is we have one guy that goes out and checks guys and women for the sexual offender compliance checks to make sure they're where they are, doing what they're supposed to be doing, and if they're not, then he takes steps to get them back off the street. The other thing we've got one deputy that's assigned to a task force, and it's called the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, and he has been very, very successful working in that. I had an opportunity to go and sit with them a couple of nights and watch what they do. They arrested probably 5 or 6 guys while I was sitting there with them. It's very fascinating what they do. These guys are very intelligent, how they go about locating these predators and getting them in jail. I believe that any well-regulated law enforcement body responds to what the community wants and what the community needs to a great deal. And also, we're just trying to do what the community problems that we see in the community that every single day. We're constantly changing, adapting, moving people around to get things done that we know need to be done in our precinct in Montgomery County. It's a long, hard job sometimes, but it's very, very rewarding to see the fruits of our labors. Really is.
And as a person running for a position, you're going to try to maintain or continue on improving that precinct over there.
You know, Dick, as this area grows, and this area is growing fast, this is going to be something in the months and years to come that we're going to have to deal with is this growth. The growth that we're going to see, I think, is going to be pretty phenomenal. We're growing faster than most counties, even in the United States. This job is going to take somebody to be in that position that understands growth. Having grown up in Houston and starting off my law enforcement career in Houston, I've seen that growth and I understand that growth and I know how to manage that growth. So it has to be a balance there. I think we're going to see a growth even outside of where we are right here. There's going to be so many things that we need to look at and change. And the other thing that's really important to me is managing the tax dollars that we're entrusted with. I'm pretty much a tightwad, so there'll be a few things that I'll change. There'll be a few things that I won't change. The constable that I work for now, Don Chumley, he's been a fantastic mentor, a friend. He's been almost like a father figure to me for 20 years that I've been working up here. So he's taught me the things that are important to him, and I've seen the things that are important to the community. So I feel I'm extremely well-rounded when it comes to running for constable.
And that's going to be on March 1st, 2016. Register to vote, folks. You can go to mctx.org/election to find out more information, where to go vote, where to get registered, and all that good stuff. Rusty Fincher for Constable Precinct number 1's online, rustyfincher.com, rustyfincher.com. Let's get out there and improve those numbers from this last election on the 3rd. Rusty, thank you so much for coming in and talking about this. It's a very important issue, and hopefully we can get you back before March, that's for sure. And folks, we are giving away tickets to tomorrow's fundraiser for Rusty Fincher. It's a fish fry at the North Montgomery County Community Center in Willis, Texas. Food will be provided by Clint's Country Catfish Catering. That's with KKC, Clint's Country Catfish Catering. There you go. I like it. So if you want more information, visit us online at Facebook, Lone Star Net Radio. We'll talk about how to win some tickets to this event for this fundraiser. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but coming up at 10 o'clock is the Cindy Cochran Show. Don't forget, 10 a.m., she's going to be talking about veterans, so call in 936-647-3776. We're going to take, like I said, a quick commercial break. You're listening to Mornings with Lone Star. Thanks for checking out our podcast with Mornings with Lone Star on irlonestar.com. Don't forget, we are live every weekday on irlonestar.com from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Anyone can be a guest on Mornings with Lone Star, so if you or anyone you know would like to be in the studio and live on the air, just contact Dick, D-I-C-K, at irlonestar.com, or message us on Facebook at Lone Star Internet Radio. Mornings with Lone Star on irlonestar.com is your Montgomery County morning radio show.